we have an update on the months-long saga surrounding the settlement with former Davenport City Administrator Corey Spiegel.
We begin with that breaking news out of Davenport, Iowa, at this partially collapsed apartment building. Look at that.
Wow. If you're moving to Davenport, Iowa, you're seeing headlines like that all over the place, and you're probably concerned about moving here. Well, this video is going to talk about that and other things, and it's going to be super important for you to watch, because if you're moving here, well, you need to know the truth. So the biggest news story to happen to Davenport, Iowa is talking about the building collapse that happened maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember off the top of my head. And yes, it was a huge deal. There was a lot that went on with that. They obviously had the building collapse, killing several people. They even had one stuck in the building that had to amputate her leg to get her out. So it was a big deal, and a lot of people were very upset with how the city of Davenport's government handled that. They seemed like they were gonna tear down the building before everybody was found. Then they had to do some investigations, so a lot of missteps were happening when all of that was going on. And the other controversy that has been happening is the government again talking about where taxpayer dollars are going. There is an alleged issue with a tax dollar amount going to one of the former employees. Some people are getting sued for documents that they are requesting, all sorts of different things. None of it I can verify, but if you're talking to somebody that's living in Davenport, Iowa, they may speak to that. In fact, a lot of you on my videos have left comments about how frustrated they are with the city of Davenport government. I have no experience with it specifically, but I do know a lot of people have been talking about it. In fact, the state of Iowa has been talking about it, and I believe they are in a lawsuit with the city over some of these issues that are going on. And if you're moving here, you really do need to know about it because it is an ongoing issue. That being said, I don't know if it really affects our day-to-day lives while living here, because there's a lot of other good things that are going on as well. So what are some of the good things that have been going on? Well, infrastructure improvements have been happening, which is ironically one of the reasons that people are so upset with the city of Davenport. It seems like some of the infrastructure has been falling apart, or maybe not as upkept as it could be. One that comes into mind in particular is Locust Street, specifically over by 5 Points. They just redid that section of Locust, and I know they have plans and are in the works of doing other improvements along Locust Street. So yes, infrastructure can be seen as a problem in Davenport, but they have been trying to fix those things as things come up. Now again, some may argue it's not either fast enough, or maybe they're not prioritizing the right things. But again, people's opinions are out there. Definitely look online if you're curious at what some of the complaints and concerns are. But again, you do see some improvement when coming around to infrastructure. Whether it is fast or the right priority, that's another question. When it comes to Davenport and good things that are going on is actually downtown Davenport, ironically enough. It is really being pushed on by the Downtown Davenport Partnership. They have been pushing a lot of cool projects, and it's really cool to see the changes that have happened. You know, one of the big ones that happened just recently, somewhat recently, is the big YMCA that was built down there. They had the old Y down there. Really not a lot of people went to it, and it was kind of dilapidated. So they had the Y actually build a brand new facility right as you get into downtown. If you're coming from the Bettendorf side, it's a really massive facility. It's got pools, gym, you know, they have the track up there. I used to be a member. I really enjoyed the pool, and I really enjoyed the track as well as the weights. Very modern, very updated, and it actually overlooks the river. So you have this outdoor patio area that you can do workouts outside and look over the river. So that's really, really cool. And that kind of spurred on some more development that's happening around there. I know they just got a bunch of new apartment buildings built up right around the Y, as well as along Motor Row, which brand new building was put up. Apartments are built there. They have the cookie place down there. I think it's called Tiffany's. They were on the Food Network. So a lot of cool projects are going on, and new projects coming as all these other things are coming. So the big one that people are talking about a lot is along the riverfront. They are building riverfront mitigation, which if you've done any research on Davenport, they have a notorious system of flood control. It just temporary goes up when they know floods are coming, and in 2019 they did have that fail and it flooded all the businesses in downtown Davenport. Well, they are trying to help mitigate that by raising up the ground level around there, so it should help. And another reason they're doing that is because of invigorization of the green areas right next to the river. They are putting up playscapes, they are putting up walkways that go over River Drive, which is a busy road, and a lot of this conceptual stuff is getting pushed into motion, which is really cool to see, because downtown Davenport used to be someplace that you really didn't want to hang out, but more and more it's a place that people are striving to go to. And again, it's really driven home by that downtown Davenport partnership. So it's cool to see their work going on, and it's really making a difference. Now, downtown Davenport isn't the only area that is seeing improvements. Just this last year, Davenport as a city put in $2.5 million into their park systems, and I've seen some of these differences. In fact, one of them I happened to stumble across. We were at the church that I'm gonna get married at here in October, and we were driving down, and all of a sudden this brand new park system was put up. It's like a multi-sport area. It looked like they had soccer, maybe basketball, all sorts of different things built into one system, which was really kind of cool. So I know that was a big project that happened this year. Also at Vanderveer, they put up new gardens around the stone bridge, which has always been kind of out in the open, where they didn't have anything around it. So they built gardens around that, so it actually feels more of part of the park. So stuff like that has been going on, and they've been putting a lot of money towards some of these improvements that really kind of make your life better when you're in Davenport. I mean, I'm in a park right now. It's an absolutely beautiful park. Yes, it's a little warm, but you can't do much about that. It's beautiful. It's got trees. It's got this gazebo that I'm under right now. So it's really cool to see all those improvements and the maintenance of the park systems in Davenport. And if that's important to you, it's something that you're going to want to take a look at. And if you're moving to Davenport, Iowa, you're going to really want to figure out what neighborhood is specifically for you and your family. Well, that's where I come in. I am a licensed realtor here in the Quad Cities and Davenport, and I know every nook and cranny of the city of Davenport. So if you're moving here, give me a call. I can help you out to find that best place for you and your family. My number is popping up down below. Now, we've heard in the news all the time that malls are really by the wayside, something of the past, and for the most part, that's kind of true. You know, a lot of malls don't have a lot of customers coming to them, but it doesn't mean that they are completely dead, and Davenport sees that as an opportunity because we do have the North Park Mall, and just recently they were talking about trying to revitalize it. How could they possibly do that? Well, the land that North Park sits on, they are actually looking at it, and yes, they don't get as many visitors and customers as they used to. So they're talking about possibly tearing off the back end of the mall and actually making the mall smaller, and taking that land and actually making apartment complexes and taking it and making, you know, homes and all of that. Now, obviously none of this is in the works quite yet. It's just at the talking stage. But it's really exciting that Davenport would try to make the mall a useful area again. Because again, people just don't go to the shopping centers, to the shopping malls as they once did. So to have them looking forward and how they can best utilize that area, it's really refreshing to see that foresight when it comes to Davenport as a whole. In Davenport, as far as a place to live, well, most of the homes that you're living in Davenport are already built. But the cool thing is that Davenport isn't void of new construction. We have new construction on the west side over by Emice Golf Course. A lot of new builds are being put up there, some of them within the last decade or so. And when you're talking about homes, that's still a fairly new home. So it's cool to see that. But the biggest portion of new builds is North Davenport. And the place I'm thinking of is actually a place called Prairie Heights. It's an area with a bunch of HOAs, which I just discovered. I knew there was a lot, but I didn't know how many were over there. So if you like HOAs and you like new construction, you're gonna wanna look up in Prairie Heights. They're along Eastern and Veterans Memorial Parkway. Very cool area, very nice homes being built, multiple builders building it. So you have your choice of different areas up there. But it's cool to see that Davenport is still building, still trying to innovate, still trying to make Davenport the place. Because Davenport is the largest city in the Quad Cities, and it'd be sad to see them just kind of roll over and let other areas develop, which you see a lot in Bettendorf, but they are not. They are still developing, still building, and even with the businesses itself, just recently we got the new Amazon building up there in the industrial section. We have Sterilite, we have a whole bunch of new ones coming up in that industrial section. So not only are they building new construction homes, but they are bringing in businesses as best as they possibly can to continue on with the economy and continue on with the growth of the city. Now, if you're somebody that is actually got a brand new job at one of those facilities, or you're just moving here because you want to, give me a call, send me a text. I am the one that can help you find the perfect neighborhood for you and your family. My number is popping up down below. But if you're curious what Davenport specifically looks like, well, check out this video right here.